Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're going to be talking about 15 plus new tips and tricks, hidden details, and secret features that you might not have known about in the brand new Grand Theft Auto Online Smuggler's Run DLC. So we've got a lot to jump into today, so let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. All right, so the first tip is kind of a 4-in-1 that involves the ultralight. This is one of the most unique vehicles we have in the game. So tip number one about this is you can actually fly the ultralight without the engine even being on. So this is incredibly cool. So you can see right now I'm kind of gaining some altitude. I'm getting into the sky. And then what I'm going to do is purposely kill the engine. And you'll see when I do that, the propeller stops spinning. Now, typically in any other plane or jet, if you kill the engine, you're going to start going down almost instantly. Well, not with the ultralight. Because it's basically a hang glider with an engine attached to the back, even if you kill the engine, it's still going to function like a hang glider where you actually won't lose altitude and can essentially almost fly forever. So this is really cool and has kind of inspired me to maybe try something like, can we go from Mount Chiliad all the way to Los Santos International Airport with the hang glider not having an engine? So we might try those challenges a little bit later, but I thought that that was extremely cool. And is it a little bit wobbly? Yes, but as long as you kind of like adjust back and forth and up and down, you'll never touch the ground with this thing, which is incredibly awesome. And what's cool is you're also going to stay off the radar, a feature that we touched on in a previous video, if you have the furthest upgraded propeller at the back, which is really cool. So you can basically just be flying here with no engine on, and no one will probably even know you're in the sky too. Now, another thing that's cool is, let's say you're for whatever reason in combat with this vehicle. If the engine gets damaged, well, don't worry. You can fly even if the engine doesn't work. So for this example, I ended up just shooting my own engine a couple times until it wouldn't work. So when I got in air, there became a sequence where the engine just completely died, and the same thing works. If your engine dies, whether you turn it off or whether someone shoots it, you'll still be able to fly. Now, in this instance, it created like this black smoke screen, which was actually kind of cool. So if you were looking for kind of a do-it-yourself way to save on the countermeasure, well, this is one way in which you can do it as well. As this created a nice kind of emission of black smoke that I thought was pretty unique. And really the last kind of interesting thing is if you dive out of this plane with the engine on, it'll continue to fly and it'll continue to float. So when I dove out of it, obviously it didn't have an engine, so it just fell straight to the ground. But if you keep the engine on and if you just let it go, it'll fly forever and won't touch the ground, which is pretty crazy and leads to some really funny events, just seeing a personless hang glider flying around the map. So kind of building off that, another plane or jet that works the same way is the Starling. So the Starling is basically a glider as well. It's weaponized, but has a rocket thruster on the back. That's essentially what separates it between the Ultra Glider and this. So same thing here. You can completely turn the engine off, and this plane will still glide. So you know the engine is completely turned off when you don't see a flame coming out of the back of the rocket thruster. So when that's the case, like many other jets, you would think, oh, you're just going to fall straight to the ground. Well, not in this vehicle, as if you do that, you'll just be able to glide for really an infinite amount of time, which is really, really cool. Now, unfortunately, with this vehicle, you don't go off the radar, even if you turn the rocket thrusters off. I think that would have been a great feature of the Starling if Rockstar had added something like that. But those two vehicles are incredibly lightweight and will basically just allow you to glide forever without having to worry about utilizing the engine, which is pretty great. And it's kind of a secondary feature to that. That's also a great way in which you can get your rocket engine to recharge itself a little bit faster, since you won't be using it at all. And then once it's good to go, just turn the engines back on and you're ready to have full boost. All right, tip number 3, did you know if you're on a cargo sourcing mission and it requires you to pick up a vehicle with the cargo in it, you don't have to use that vehicle. So for example, some of the vehicles might be very slow, like box trucks. You can just blow up the box trucks and get the cargo from it, and then you're good to go. However, one warning is if you even get inside the vehicle and move it ever so slightly, you won't be able to blow up the cargo, because if you do, you'll end up destroying the vehicle and destroying the cargo. So if you see a cargo in a vehicle that you know that you don't want to have to drive back to your hangar, blow it up before you get inside. Or if you get inside, you're stuck with it and you're going to have to drive it to the hangar because, like I said, if you blow it up, you'll ultimately destroy it. This is probably the one thing that the Smuggler's Run update business-wise got got right, because there's a ton of bikers vehicles and finance and felony vehicles that we have to get in, and we're forced to bring it from point A to point B. We don't have the option to destroy it and then get in a buzzard or get in a jet. So this is a great feature of Smuggler's Run and can save you a ton of time. Another tip you might not have known about the sourcing missions is you don't have to use the vehicles that the game provides for you. So for example, I got pretty lucky right here. It gave me a mission that wanted me to go to the Pacific Standard Bank, and it gave me a bright red buzzard with no weapons. Why would I go to the Pacific Standard Bank in a vehicle with no weapons? So what I did is I just opened up my CEO menu, and then I spawned in a buzzard that actually did have weapons, and I could just use that. And the game can't tell the difference. It doesn't matter at all. You can use whatever vehicle you want. You could use one from your hangar. You could use one from your SecuroServe CEO menu like I did. They're just giving you a recommendation. Now, this mission was pretty easy. However, there are some others that make a whole lot more sense to not use the weapon that they provide. There's like a Sea Breeze mission that wants you to do bombing runs. It's so inefficient. Just use another vehicle like a buzzard or a helicopter or something like that. So just know that you don't have to use the vehicle that Rockstar provides for you. All right, let's move on to some interesting things inside of the hangar. Number one, it looks as if Rockstar are already teasing the unreleased vehicles in paintings that you can see inside the hangar itself. So there's paintings of the Nakota, which is the Rustler fighter jet that's going to be coming into the game soon. There's paintings of the Pyro as well that can be seen all around the place. Now, most of these are found in the traditional layout, so you might have to change them if you want to see them. However, in the modern one, you can actually see photos of the Laser as well, which is the $6.5 million jet that we know is going to be arriving into the game soon. So I don't know why Rockstar decided to do this. Maybe they just figured, hey, eventually these vehicles will be coming out, so it makes sense to have them in photos. But this is once again another way in which they've teased and kind of leaked their own unreleased vehicles in the game. So I thought that was pretty funny, and it is actually pretty cool decoration. I do love the paintings in here, especially when you upgrade the style of the hangar itself. Something else that's kind of interesting, one of the hangar floors is a compass. So it has north, east, south, and west. However, in my hangar, I'm not sure if it's all of them, north actually doesn't face north. North faces south. So I'm not sure if Rockstar messed this up logistically, but as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of my minimap, north is actually an icon on the minimap, and it's facing the opposite direction of the, I guess, livery painted floor of the hangar. So this obviously has no effect on the gameplay at all. It's something very minor and small, but at the end of the day, I still thought that was funny that even the compass on the hangar floor doesn't get it right. So I thought that that was pretty interesting. Now, I've been getting this question a lot. Some people have been wondering, what is the utility cost for the hangar? So I've actually seen two different amounts. One amount I've seen is it's $500 for the hangar per day, but an extra $100 if you add Charlie's aircraft upgrade kind of facility, which I'm guarantee you almost everyone has. And another amount I've seen is it's $1,250, kind of the standard for other, bunkers and other warehouses and stuff like that. However, because the air hangar can't get any upgrades, I'm more inclined to think that it might be the $600 amount, one of the cheaper options that we have. So I have actually not seen the notification about something like that. If you have, be sure to let us know in either the comment section down below or reach out to me on Twitter and say, hey, Mr. Boss, I saw that it cost exactly this much to keep the hangars in business. At the end of the day, it's a pretty small amount though. Something that's not a small amount and something that's actually really frustrating, when changing countermeasures and bombs, you have to buy them each time you switch. So for example, I'm in the Tula and I'm looking to change bombs. And when I go from explosive to cluster, literally seconds after purchasing the other one, it makes you buy it again. That is a huge ripoff. I hate when Rockstar do something like this. If you buy the bomb, you should have it unlocked forever on that plane. You shouldn't be penalized just because you want to switch, because there are certain situations where certain bombs are better. Cluster bombs are better in certain situations. Explosive bombs are better in other situations. So why Rockstar punishes us for wanting us to change different features on the plane is kind of a mystery to me. So that right there is a little unfortunate that you just have to pay for something you've already bought over and over and over again. For you creators out there, some good news. Now you can place up to 100 checkpoints in races. So this is awesome. Now, this might have been a change for the upcoming new transform races and air races that Rockstar are going to be introducing in the game. But even though those aren't currently out or currently aren't available, regular races and stunt races can now have up to 100 checkpoints, which is pretty awesome. So if you want to make some longer races, now you really can with some crazy checkpoint placements. And the fact that you can do 100 is just absolutely nuts. All right, this is kind of minor as well, but now with the silenced pistol, you can actually and finally kill yourself. For the longest time, if you had the silenced pistol equipped, you actually couldn't kill yourself. I'm not sure why. Maybe Rockstar didn't want you to stealthily shoot yourself in the head, but now you can. Again, a pretty small update from this DLC, but that is something pretty interesting that they would actually decide to go in and fix. So yeah, now you can kill yourself. Take the easy way or the silent way out with the silenced pistol. All right, and the last thing we're going to be talking about today is actually a cut feature from Smuggler's Run, and it was the fact that Rockstar were planning to have a favorite model of aircraft, very similar to the Bikers update where you had a favorite bike. So this is a quote from FunMW2. He says, "Call in your favorite model of aircraft. A bonus will be active when riding it." And he said that this is cut from Smuggler's Run. So that would have been really cool because I definitely have like one or two aircrafts that are my favorite. So I'm not sure why they decided to cut that feature. Maybe they decided it didn't work all that well in the Bikers update and didn't want it to ruin Smuggler's Run. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. 15 plus new things you might not have known about the DLC, including some secret features, hidden details, and more. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have anything else to add, including some secret features that we haven't covered in previous videos, and you might just find yourself featured in another one. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.